Drum roll. Hey guys, welcome to the first ever BodyUnited interview. We've got Jessica Thomas here with us today. She's going to share her story. I'm super excited to have Jessica. She's super talented, band director, and I'll let her get to her story. But I've known her for a long time. She's one of my best friend's younger sisters.
Long time, longer than I would care to admit.
At least like a year.
Is it a mistake? Sorry. So first of all, I want to apologize. Like, we're in the car on the way to dinner, so my husband's driving. So I'm going to introduce myself and tell y'all a little bit about me. Like Justin said, I am a middle school band director. So I'm 32. We're having a hard time over here.
I'm
32. Yeah. Real. I mean, this is real life. It's real life. So I'm 32. I'm in my 8th year teaching. I've exclusively taught middle school band. And yeah, I love what I do. I'm really passionate about it. And kind of as a side to that, and I'll get more into this later, but I also do health and fitness stuff on the side. And do you want me to go ahead and jump into kind of how that got started for me?
Yeah, I guess if you want to start with the hard stuff and
so my health and fitness journey kind of started like maybe around 2016 program in like the southwest of Atlanta.
Kind of getting some lag. Still with me?
That was like the point where I was like, okay, something's got to change with how I'm feeling. Like, and it was hard for me because I've always been a small person, but I just didn't.
Hey, Jess, yeah. I hate to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Can you start over because it had a little lag on my end?
Yeah, totally. So kind of the way my health and fitness journey started was I was teaching middle school southwest of Atlanta, and I was commuting a really long distance. And, you know, if anybody in the group is a teacher, you know, like when you're teaching, you're pouring a lot of yourself into like your students and you're dealing with parents and stuff. And I was just feeling awful. I really was thinking about leaving teaching, but I was like, what else am I going to do? So I was like, okay, well, I can't really change my careers, but I can kind of change the way that I'm living. And it was hard for me because like, I've always been a smaller person. And I was like, you know, I don't really need to lose weight. So what do I do? So I ended up signing with Beachbody. And I started doing that. And it was just good for me because it's a big sense of community, which is why I love, Justin, what you're doing with BodyUnited, because I think community is so important with anything health and fitness. It's easy to feel like you're on an island.
Yeah.
You know, social media is a blessing and a curse, but it's one of the blessings of social media. So like, that's been really good for me. Well, I ended up switching jobs the next year. So I was working out. I was eating better. I wouldn't say I was great about it, because I'm a person and I'm a human. But with me getting a new job that was closer to home, my husband and I were really wanting to start a family, and we were just having a lot of issues with it. And I knew something was not right. In fact, my husband's sitting next to me. You can't see him, but there was one day I was like drinking his shake. So I was like, I just feel there's something in my gut that tells me something's wrong and I'm not going to be able to get pregnant. And I ended up going to my doctor. And so that was God. And I was like, something's just not right. But being that busy teacher, I kept putting off going to the doctor. So I finally went to the doctor over Thanksgiving break, and I was just like, hey, we're trying to start a family. I was like, something just doesn't feel right. Like, you know, I feel like we're doing everything right. I was taking ovulation tests and I wasn't ovulating. And at that point I was 29. I wasn't quite 30.
Was it like a an intuition you had, or did you just feel off? Or
yeah, like I mean, like I wasn't ever in pain. I would have days, especially like when I was at school, I would just have days where I would all of a sudden feel really bad, but then it would go away. That's the only thing I can really look back and recall. But like, nothing really like that made me think, okay, something was really wrong. I just knew something wasn't right. And looking back, like I don't like to do this, but like I should have gone to the doctor earlier, because like knowing what I know now, like instinct knows, like your body knows, like you can like just your gut, like when you have that gut feeling that something's wrong, there's usually something to it. But I put off going to the doctor until November, because I was like, I can't miss school, like I can't take time off, my kids need me. So I ended up going to the doctor over Thanksgiving break of 2017, and she didn't seem all that concerned at first. And then she went to do an exam. She's like, we'll just give you some meds, like you're gonna have a baby in no time. Well, I had to have an exam to get the meds, and it's not a good thing when they call another doctor. She's like, they did a biopsy.
So you said it's not a good thing when what?
When they call the other doctor into the room, because like, so like if you're a girl and you're having a pelvic exam, you're just chilling there on the table and you're like, okay, just get this over with. Well, she was like, I want to call another doctor in and have him take a look at this. I was like, okay. I don't
this is not a show.
Yeah. So I was like, great. And she didn't seem all that concerned, but I was like, this, like something's not right. So she's like, well, let's just do a biopsy. We'll figure out what's going on, and we're still going to get you to have a baby. Okay. And it was like a few days later, because it was December 4th of 2017. I got the call. I was luckily on my planning period. They're like, we need you to come to the doctor, and you need to bring your husband. And they wouldn't tell me over the phone what it was, but like I knew it wasn't good. And I was diagnosed with stage 1. Well, at that point I didn't know my staging, but it ended up being stage 1 cervical cancer. I had to go through, at first they were thinking they could save enough to where I could have a kid, but after I had a PET scan, they were like, we can't. Like I had to have what's called a radical hysterectomy. So they took everything except for my ovaries. And yeah. And so like that point, yeah. And so at that point, they started talking about fertility preservation, because like obviously you're not going to be able to carry your own children, but we can do fertility preservation so that you can have kids via surrogate. And like that was like drinking through a fire hydrant, because I was diagnosed December 4th. I had my hysterectomy February 6th. So I had a span of really had like a couple weeks to decide if we wanted to do fertility preservation or just know that we were going to do adoption. And we did end up deciding to do fertility preservation, because I was like, at least we have an option. So we got 8 embryos. And I was really lucky, like throughout that, they could never back and everything, like surgery cleared me up, which I'm really thankful for, because even people with stage 1 do sometimes have to go through chemo and radiation. So yeah, that's kind of my backstory. And as a result, I've become a lot more serious about health, nutrition, like.
Let's let it catch up real quick.
I did it up, yeah.
It's okay. Hey, we're not gonna worry about the lag. It's all good. But since then, you started becoming more interested in health and nutrition.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a passion now. And also along with that, like work-life balance. Like I do health and fitness coaching through Beachbody, but I also through ISSA. I got my certified fitness instructor, and then I'm also certified to teach Insanity. And it's just really become more important to me about preaching to people, like the importance of taking care of yourself, because for most of us, it takes having like a scary situation where we have to do it. It's like, I think I saw a quote the other day. It's like either, make time for your health now, or like you're going to have to make time to be sick later. It was worded way better on Facebook, but it's like, take the time ahead of time to take care of yourself so you don't have to go through something. I was lucky. Other people aren't. And if me sharing my story helps even one person live a better life, then to me it's worth it.
Yeah. Hey, absolutely. You actually got me interested when you mentioned the ISSA, because I looked at a couple different health coaching programs and all that. Just to have some certification. Like I've been super interested. I was kind of a chubby kid in middle school, and just like hit it really hard between like 8th grade and 9th grade. Lost a bunch of weight, and ever since then, it's just been a passion of mine too. Just been super interested in anything to do with health and nutrition. But all about like figuring out ways to figure out what the root cause of things are. And
right,
because I think medicine has its place. I'm not against medicine, but why take medicine if there's a way you can figure out what's really going on? Because I really think that the body will heal itself.
Yeah, and like obviously, like with cancer, I needed an oncologist, but I think the issue that I've run into, especially dealing with oncologists and like specialists, is they look at one thing, whereas like like we're like a whole being. Like I had to see a urologist because of some issues I was dealing with post-surgery, and they just wanted to put me on a pill, and I'm like, but you haven't, like, first of all, they asked me like things that they wouldn't have asked me had they known, like actually looked at my chart and saying like, hey, she had cancer and this is the surgery she had. And so doctors are amazing and medicine is fantastic, but their scope is so narrow, which is how it should be. Like somebody that's specializing in cancer, that should be what they focus their time on. But sometimes they miss the big picture, is what I feel like. And I have a great oncologist and I love him, but anytime I have issues, he just wants to refer me to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of, I feel like that's just kind of the way the system's set up, but also like, you've got so many patients to see. It's like you don't necessarily have time to dig into every little facet of each of your patients' lives. That's why I have a huge respect for your brother and what he's doing. I mean, pediatric surgeon. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So like, it's important that like you have to be your own advocate. Regardless of what health issues you're dealing with, like you have to know your body, you have to know. And I think working out and eating well helps you be more aware of how you feel and if there are any changes. Because when you're consistent, like for me, like I eat very similar things every day. Although I'm about to go have some pizza and a mushroom. But I work out every day. So when something is off, I feel like it's been easier for me to kind of feel like, hey, something doesn't feel right. And like a lot of people like to just chalk it up to like, oh, well, you had cancer, so you're just hyper aware. And it's like, no, it's really come more with just, between having that training and that knowledge and just like knowing myself more than anything.
So tell me a little bit about the diet. Like, are you on a very strict diet aside from the mellow mushroom, or?
My kind of philosophy is like 80% healthy, 20% fun. Sometimes it's more than others. Like I'm on a meal plan that it kind of tracks your macros without tracking your macros. So I'm very protein. I eat a lot of veggies. Like those, like to me, veggies are non-negotiable. Sometimes like it's hard for me to get protein in, but like veggies, and I try to vary the color of veggies that I have, especially given that I had cancer. Like it's just good for you to have green veggies, orange veggies, getting a good mix of colors. And then I eat carbs, but I try to keep my carbs relatively clean. Things like quinoa or like Ezekiel bread, stuff that's really nutrition dense. And then
really whole, unprocessed.
Yes. Try to eat very unprocessed food. There's so much sugar in everything. Even powdered peanut butter that says it's supposed to be like healthy to add to shakes has added sugar in it. So I try to be careful.
Oh my gosh.
Like
it's crazy. It's crazy how many things they sneak sugar into and give it, and how many different names they give it and all that too.
You have to be careful, and the labels are better now because they're labeling added sugars, which I think is good. But if you look at something that's called PB Fit and it's powdered peanut butter, you're not going to think it's got 6 grams of sugar in it, but it does. Yeah. And then I eat a lot of healthy fats. Like the plan I'm on actually limits the amount of fat that I eat, but eating healthy fats keeps me from getting hangry. I eat a lot of avocado, like a lot of avocado, because it makes me happy. Like, I think with nutrition, you want to eat in a way that's fueling your body and giving your body what it needs, but you don't want to deny yourself and like do it in a way that makes sense for you. Like if somebody came out to me and said like, I could never eat an avocado ever again, I'd just go off the rails and not eat healthy. Like, so I think it's all about finding a balance between eating in a way that fuels and like gives you what you need, but also like staying happy. And if having like half a small pizza with your friends once a week, like keeps you sane, then that's fine as long as you can manage it. Like different people have different discipline. Like I have people that I coach that they have to be strict with their food because they will go off the rails. And so it's all about finding what works for you. Like some people like keto. I personally am not a fan of it, but if it's working for you, do it. Something that's sustainable and works.
Yeah, and you know, I've tried a bunch of different diets and all. Like I've been purely plant-based or vegan, whatever you want to call it. And like right now, I'm actually doing carnivore. Like all I'm eating is animal products. It happens to work for me.
Yeah.
You know, like with plant-based, I felt a certain way. Now with carnivore, like I don't know, it just introduced a lot of vigor back into my life that I missed. But that being said, it's not going to work for everybody, you know?
Right.
And like, I don't think there is like one ideal human diet. Whatever works for your chemistry, your microbiome, makeup, all that. But like for what you're saying about like having that little bit of happy and keeping you sane and all that, like that's huge, because if you like walking around miserable, like I think walking around miserable can cause cancer, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you gotta have some joy in your life, and if you get some joy out of food, you know, go eat that pizza.
Yeah, smelly mushrooms gives me joy. Yeah, like I said, 80% healthy, 20% fun is a good balance for me.
I think. So we touched on your battle with cancer and all that a little bit. Did you want to get in any more of that, and like what kind of got you through all that? You know, I want to share kind of really low parts.
So the whole like I said, I was really lucky with my treatment, but you know, the fertility preservation process, that was hard. And the surgery was hard. Like it was harder than I thought it would be, because I kept working out. Like I limited what I was doing just based on how I was feeling. But I first of all, exercise is super cathartic for me. So like I just needed that in my life still. So I just did a lot of modified workouts, but you know, that made me feel like I should just bounce back from this major surgery, which did not happen. And so like that was harder for me than I thought it would be. And just having people around me, I think the people you surround yourself with is so important. Like it's changed a lot of the dynamics of my friendships, and started a new job this year. The people I work with, sorry, is it cut now?
Did you have, you know, on that note, did you have to like cut some people out of your life? Okay, there you are. You're back now. Gosh, they like cut it like right after I asked that. That's okay. I'll probably like just edit that part out. But did you have to like cut some people out of your life? I definitely had to do that throughout my life.
I don't want to say I cut them out, but like I have I don't think she's in this group, so I can be a little bit more specific. But like I have a friend that like she only calls me to complain. And like, I'll talk to her like through Messenger where I can kind of control the conversation, but like, I screen my phone calls. And like, I know that sounds bad, but like, you know, I just, going through what I've gone through, I'm very picky about what I allow in my life. And so I started a new job this year, and I love my school overall, but like a lot of my people on my team are super negative. So
super negative.
unlike my year, not so much. Yeah, and that's okay. Like, you know, as you change, people are going to come in and out of your life, and that's okay. I would say the other thing that I've really changed is other than being way more focused about my health and nutrition and fitness and all that, but like, work is not as important to me. And I know that sounds bad because I teach, but especially last year, like I took a step back from pouring as much of myself into my job. And I found that my band program was just as good, if not better. Honestly, I think last year was one of the best band programs I ever had. But I actually worked less hard, but I was more intentional with my time. And when I leave work, Like, I don't check my email. I don't do anything with work when I leave work. And it's hard for band because, you know, it's hard for teachers in general because it's just the nature of what we do. But especially with band, you know, we've got concerts, we've got extra rehearsals. It's easy to let it bleed into the rest of our life. But I found that, like, I'm happier, I'm a better teacher, and my band is just as good without me having to kill myself. And I actually presented at our state conference this past year. So back in January, I presented about this at my state conference, and a whole lot of people were like, "Oh my God." And like, now I'm like, duh, like, why didn't I realize this sooner? But it was a packed house, and people are like, "Oh my gosh," like, I needed to hear that. And I'm actually presenting about it at our national conference in December. And I think it's just important that, like, there's never truly going to be a balance with work and life. Like, there are going to be times that you do have to work hard. Like, for us, October is crazy with marching band. But it's a pendulum that swings back and forth. And the hope is that overall it will be balanced. Like, you know, like Wednesdays we don't have marching band. So we always do friend dates on Wednesdays. It's just non-negotiable. Like, we do it. It's just part of what we do now. And our life is richer, and work is gonna, like, the most telling thing somebody told me is, like, if you die, because, like, I got diagnosed, and one of my first thoughts was like, oh my gosh, my kids, my band program, like, what do we, like, somebody was like, if you die, like, your job will be posted before your obituary gets posted. Like, that's just the reality of it. And it's like, not that I don't matter in what I do, but, you know, it's not the most lasting, most important thing that I'm going to do necessarily.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to put it like that.
Yeah.
Job posting, wow. Yeah, it's like, you know, companies say everybody's replaceable, or any team, everybody's replaceable. You're like, wow. That does kind of hit home.
Yeah.
And I know how hard you teachers work, man. My mom's been a teacher for 31 years now, and I was, you know, growing up, you know, I know she would, you know, leave the house at 7 a.m. or whatever, and come home, grade papers, and work till probably 7 again.
Yeah. And
at least
it's gonna be there tomorrow. Like, I left work today at 4. I actually left work a little bit before 4, but we're on early release this week, so. And I guess the only other thing that I think has been a big game changer for me, and I think I mentioned this to you when we were messaging, like, personal development has been huge for me. It was huge for me throughout my battle. My mom bought me all these awesome books that I love. And I'm happy to share any titles. Like, I can, like, whenever you post this, I can post them in the comments. But just, what I do every morning is I get up, I drink my pre-workout, and while I'm drinking my pre-workout, I read a personal development book. Some people listen to podcasts or listen to an audiobook. I like reading a book. And it's just really, it helped me go through my battle. It helped me as a teacher. It's helped me just exist as somebody that's super type A and anxious all the time. So yeah, like just.
So everybody in your family is type A.
Yeah. It's really fun at family gatherings.
I was going to say.
So, but yeah, and I think it's helped mom too. Like for mom and like for me, it's been a little bit iffy lately, but I know for mom a lot, it's been her faith that helps her with that. And my faith definitely helped me, but like it's been stuff like real talk. That's something I've been struggling with more lately. But faith has been definitely a big important thing for us. But just putting things into my body and putting things into my mind and surrounding myself with people that fuel my soul.
Hey, amen. You know,
yeah.
Garbage in, garbage out. You know.
Yes, and that doesn't just count for what you eat.
I think it also counts on what you listen to. That's why I don't really like listening to raunchy music. It's basically the radio. But
yeah,
to each his own.
Yeah, but like Audible, it's amazing. Like you put an audiobook on, it's amazing.
Yeah. So, all right. So why don't we finish with this?
Okay.
Because this has been awesome. And you know, anybody who's watching this, you know, whether it's one of you, a couple hundred, you know, a few million of you one day, maybe, who knows. But Jessica, if you were to say one thing to somebody who's going through what you went through, you know, what would you tell them to keep them inspired, and any advice that you would give them?
Okay. I think the biggest thing is we don't realize that. But we're capable of so much more than we think we are. Your body does amazing things and your mind does even more amazing things. So just really rely on, you know, the people that are around you. Like we said, put good things in, like read good books, surround yourself with positive people, and don't be afraid to eliminate things that don't do anything for you. Especially, you know, going through cancer, going through a diagnosis, a lot of people, they want to offer advice and they want to fix things, and then they mean well, but you got to do what's best for you. You're allowed to be selfish when it comes to stuff like this. So just, you know, focus on you, do what's right for you, and like just live your best life, you know, whatever that means for you, and that's totally fine, and you don't have to feel guilty about it.
Love it. Live your best life.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, man. This has been awesome. Maybe we'll do another one sometime.
Yes, because I'm sure at some point my life will change, like drastically. But if anything like lagged or cut out and you need like a redo, just let me know.
Yeah, may just run with it as is, you know. Like this is all kind of new to me too, so learning process.
I mean, and it shows the realness. Like that's the other thing I've kind of learned is like, especially on social media, I used to always feel like everything had to be so polished, but people want to see real life.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with that. 100%. So anybody watching, if you've got any questions or you want to reach out to Jessica, you know, she's doing the fitness and nutrition coaching and all that too. Jessica, if you want to give yourself a shameless plug too.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at The Balanced Musician, or just follow me on Facebook. And then I'll also make sure that I list some of the awesome books that I've read that I've loved that have really helped me in the comments. So that way, if anybody wants to read them, you can feel free to. I got them off of Amazon because I love Amazon.
All right. Well, thanks so much. Have a good one.
Thanks for asking me.
All right. This is Justin, BodyUnited, signing out. Bye, Jeff.
Bye.